Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my video series called Door County Girl. Let's go!
Hello out there, this is Rolf Johnson. Welcome to an episode of Al Johnson's Swedish Restaurant and Door County Girl. Although today it's a couple of Door County dudes. I'm here. I'm Rolf, of course, and this is my son.
Howdy.
This is Jesper. And we're going to show you how to make American fries. I know it sounds simple, but people do call in a request. How do we make specifically our American fries? It's no big secret, and I'm happy to share it with you.
All right.
So, what I specify when we have when we have American fries, we are going to use only Idaho potatoes. Now, everything out there can be called a russet potato, but only a potato from Idaho can be called an Idaho potato. And that's the only ones I will use. Preferably number ones. Number twos are okay, but number ones are more versatile. Idaho potatoes have the least amount of water, and they are always perfect for everything. Baking, grilling. The only thing I don't care Idaho potatoes for are soups. Then you're going to use a Yukon Gold. But today we're using Idaho number one russet potatoes, and these are preferably Burbanks. We cut them after they've been boiled, about an hour on the stove. We cool them down, put them in the refrigerator. When they're nice and cool, ready to be cut, we cut them in quarter-inch slices. Now, there was a time that we used to peel all the potatoes, but when we got so busy, it took us so long, and people started to prefer the peeling on. They're more home style. And some people swear there's more nutrients in the potato skin. Now we scrub the potatoes, and then we cut them and peel, or we boil them. I'm sorry, we boil them and then we cut them. So what's he doing right now? We're going to cut them in quarters, and all we're going to do is cut them in quarter-inch strips. And this is going to be the perfect size potato. Now I got the newcomers when they were working over here. They cut them too big, the cooks will say something. They cut them too small, the cooks will say something. They got to be just right. And the seasoning is quite simple. The seasoning is just going to be a mix of Lowry seasoning, no MSG, and I usually go for 2 cups of Lowry's, 1 tablespoon of white pepper, and I shake that up together. Then, when we put them on the stove, we're going to add some black pepper and some chives to it as well. This is actually a time-consuming job, but it's the most, relaxing job to me in the kitchen if you're not under the gun, because nobody's on your case. You're just sitting back there cutting potatoes, and nobody's going to harass you because they need you, and they need those potatoes. People have worked in commercial kitchens. They know exactly what I mean. Sometimes it's a joke that who's doing all the potatoes? Nope, I would do them any day of the week. Now this is going to be a small batch. Normally I would go with about a 5-gallon pail filled with these, and I would put half of that on this griddle all the way out here, and we'd spread them all out. But we're just doing this for demonstrations. You can make this at home. 2 potatoes would be a perfect amount. If you want to cut more than that, you'll have them for the whole week. So let's go ahead and throw those on the stove.
Roger that.
Or on the griddle, rather. We're going to put a little bit of butter down to start with. This is an 1.5 ounce scoop. Spread these out a little bit so they all kind of get uniform. Now we're just going to throw our seasoning on there. Like I said, it's about 2 cups of Lowry's with 1 tablespoon of white pepper. And then some black pepper. And then some freeze-dried chives. In the summertime, there's a couple people that have gardens at home, and they'll bring in, if they have an excess of chives, and we'll use fresh chives. But you could use green onions also, but this is the way we like to do it. Now, while this is cooking here, I'm going to show you another little trick, how to make clarified butter at home. And the reason we like to use clarified butter is because it won't burn as easily. If you just try to throw butter on these griddles, even at home, you'll notice that smoke point will be very, very low. So when you clarify the butter, you're at a nice high temperature, you're likely not to burn your potatoes. That's a trick with anything. So to make clarified butter very quickly and very easily, what I have here is a half a cup of butter. And you put it in a glass measuring cup. And you're going to put this in a microwave. Every microwave's different, of course. This one's pretty powerful, so I'm going to do it for 50 seconds. When that's done melting, it's going to foam up a little bit. I'll hit it for another 20 seconds, and then I'll let it settle. You'll find that all the milk fats will settle to the bottom, and then you have clarified butter on the top. If you're real picky, you can skim the top off. But for our purposes, we just want it to burn. Now, I have noticed, and my son has asked me this before, why do our American fries and hash browns taste better than other places? And I said, most places, even some of my favorite places to go to, they cook their hash browns in either a commercial butter-flavored oil or they cook it in margarine. Those are going to give a bitter taste, where clarified butter won't have that bitter taste. So now you're going to get down, so that's 50 seconds in a commercial microwave, and you'll see it melted, and you're starting to see the butter solids on the bottom, the milk solids, and we're just going to have the butter on the top. I'd go another 30 seconds, let's say. And the reason I put a small amount in a 2-cup measuring glass is because it will foam up. And the only reason I do a half a cup at a time, I don't want it to foam over. And this is plenty for purposes at home. See, right now I can see it inside there. It's bubbling, just about ready to go over, but I've done it enough times where I know it won't overflow. So there you saw it boiling. Now it's going to settle down. And when that settles down, you're going to have nothing but clear butter on top. Now we'll go through, these come in 50-pound boxes or 50-pound bags, and we'll go through at least 100 pounds of these in a morning. And it's not uncommon. One of the most popular cries back in the kitchen is American fries in, American fries in. They're always calling for American fries because they're served with every egg order and our hash orders and a side of potatoes, and we're pretty generous with portions. We would kick all this to the corner over here while we're busy doing other things, and then we would scoop from there. But for your use at home, this is all you would need to do. And here's your butter. See, it's clarified there. So I used salted butter today, so you could skim the top off, but I'm not worried about that because I'm going to use it salt anyway in there. Some people like to pour it through a strainer. I just pour it off until you get to the milk solids, and then that's it. And then what you get is a nice clarified butter is what we use here. You can never have too much butter.
Never.
But this grill's at about 400 degrees. I would recommend about 375 at home. But most butter, you throw it on a $400 or 400 degree griddle, it's going to burn. Clarified butter will not. And that's where you're at right now. And if I say, yes, bro, I'd like a side of American fries.
Got American fries, got it. Never can skimp out on the portions here. Just like that.
And I'm going to tell you exactly, you can eat them like that. I'm going to get a jar of lingonberries because that's how I like to eat my
Smart
American
man.
fries.
Not how I would take it, but just perfect. Oh, it's perfect. With the clarified butter, you can really taste the difference as well.
So if you hadn't had it this way, I recommend it because lingonberries go good with potatoes, they go with meat products, they go with just about everything. I don't know if Jesper likes lingonberries as much as I do, but I'm going to separate these.
We'll give it a try.
Try those.
The sweet with the salty is very good. They
Yeah,
complement each other very well, actually. That's surprising.
So if you come into Al's and you order a petit pano, which is a roast beef hash with potatoes and onions, I recommend a side of lingonberries as well. Of course, always with meatball dinners.
Mm-hmm.
Goes good with a meat product, goes with a potato product, goes good with mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that answers some questions to the secret of Al Johnson's American fries. Pretty simple. All right, everybody out there, take care. Again, this is Rolf Johnson, my son Jesper, signing off.
Adios.
Hey-do.
Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.